Yeah, very warm welcome to Monday night here at Every Space, Monday night meditation, and we're into week 3 of the Spring Cleaning Your Mind Meditation Challenge. Down here with friends and team, we've got Daisy over here, Alex, Cam, Jack, Emma and Elena, and Pam here is here as well with me. We're going to be hearing from Pam a bit later on. So yeah, really pleased to be into week 3 of the challenge, approaching halfway. If you don't know what the challenge is, I'm going to just say a few things about it. So if you've just kind of stumbled in to the meditation challenge in week 3, this is what we've been kind of setting ourselves as the challenge. So we've been saying to ourselves we're going to meditate every day for 6 weeks. So that's the basis of it. We meditate every day for 6 weeks and see what that does to our lives, what effect that has in our lives. And we've been supporting that, people on the challenge, by this live stream that's coming out every Monday, where we're hearing from one of the Monday night team about what meditation means to them. And I'm really delighted to have Pam here to talk about that short little while. And also I've been just building up this toolkit week on week. We've been spending these first 2 weeks with awareness, and now we're going to be moving into metta practice, loving kindness practice. And then also on part of the challenge is to attend the second half of tonight, which is on Zoom, because that's a really good chance to go deeper into the practice, to ask questions and to go deeper into our practices together. And then also we've been encouraging people to get on the Discord channel. Discord channel is an online platform where it's been brilliant actually. We've been sharing pictures of our shrines, pictures of things which inspire us. We've been talking about how meditation's been going. And basically just kind of getting this sense of connection with other people on the challenge, which I've really found very inspiring, very motivating. So there's still a chance to sign up. It's no longer the 6-week challenge, it's now the 4-week challenge, but you can still sign up and see what 4 weeks of meditating every day is going to do for your life. And Emma's going to put the link up there. It's really simple. You could just cut and paste the link and sign up a bit later on. Really easy to sign up. And it's by donation, so you can give as little or as much as you want. So tonight, what we're going to do is, as always, we're going to start with this 3-minute breathing space, just a way of really arriving, kind of, it's almost like the buffer between whatever else has been going on today and entering into this space of practice together. So we'll be doing a 3-minute breathing space, and I'll be handing over to Pam to do talk about what meditation means to her. And then we'll be starting to explore metta practice together, kind of naturally moving on from what we've been doing in the last couple of weeks and starting to explore the metta practice of loving kindness, opening the heart. And then we'll be putting that into practice together in a guided meditation. Okay, so that's what we've got going in the first half. So let's just set ourselves in for this short breathing space. So you don't need to do anything special at all. Just wherever you are, on the chair or on the sofa, or if you're sitting on the cushions, your cushions at home, then you just need to close your eyes, that's all. And just with the eyes closed, you start to feel your world slightly differently. You can start to take in a bit more of the ambient sound around us. Start to feel this space around us. There, apparently in the middle of that space, we feel ourselves, we feel our body, sensations with the body. And we can feel the contact with the ground. So we're just noticing what that feels like. To be supported by the chair or by the cushion, by the ground. And then just seeing if you can let go the weight of your legs into the ground. So just letting go the tension in the legs into the ground. And feeling our face, feeling your face, and the eyes, forehead. And letting go of the shoulders. Just feeling the breath. You don't have to do anything special. Just been breathing all day. So you're just feeling what that's like. Making it the foreground. Seeing if you can really contact where you feel the breath most vividly in the body. And just allowing the breath to spread out into all parts of the body. So the body is infused with the breath. Smoothing out the body. And then just expanding back out, feeling the space around you, feeling the contact with the ground, and just feeling the connection with the other people, meditating together. Okay, great. So do let us know who's out there. Let us know who's out there, where you are, how you're getting on, and then we'll let us know who's out there after Pam's talk. But yeah, for now, let's turn our attention to Pam, and yeah, really want to hear what Pam has to say about meditation. So whenever you're ready, Pam, over to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So my name's Pam, and Rachel and Ara asked me to do a little talk about what meditation means to me. Many years ago, I was mainly into yoga, so that was my, I suppose, first interaction with meditation. And there was a particular class on a Friday night which had quite a strong element of meditation. And I would lie there in Shavasana, dead man's pose, I think that's what it's called. And I would just, after a few minutes, I could levitate my body, and I could watch myself from above. And it wasn't a scary thing. It was a wonderful feeling. And then I remember one of my yoga colleagues saying to me, "Oh yeah, I could do that." And I go, I kind of float around the room, and I thought, no, I won't be doing that. I'm just happy with just levitating up and down. That's good enough for me. But aside from yoga, when I wasn't on that yoga mat, my whole life it felt really, there was a void. There was a real spiritual loss. I was starting to feel disconnected with everything in my life. And then Daisy, who's sitting here, introduced me to Brixton Meditation Centre. So I came along, and I think at that point I was really coming along to just relax, to do a bit more meditation. So I think for the first 6 months I didn't take it that seriously. I did the odd kind of meditation, but then I decided, I thought, no, you're going to get into meditation and really sort of pick up a good routine. So I'm going to start off by just talking about when I'm on the cushion and when I'm feeling settled. So that means when I'm able to kind of follow my breath. And particularly, I think, my journey at the beginning, I could become very absorbed in my meditations. And I had some visions that were almost like, Salvador Dali, kind of moments. They were, but it really touched me. It really touched something inside me. But what I noticed more was that I was starting to feel really quite content. I'm a person that uses my imagination, so most of my imagination is around with Buddha sitting with me, and that's where I feel comfortable, or in, say, like imagining I'm in my garden or just at a place where I can relax. And then what started to happen was I started to watch my thoughts. I could, when I was particularly absorbed, it always feels to me like I'm underwater, and I can watch my thoughts going past me. So it feels like I have a gap, which I'll talk about a little bit more afterwards. But it's almost like I was watching myself unfold. If you think about a flower, it kind of, it's, you don't see it, do you? But it's going to unfold. But that's how I felt in my body. But also what came with that was actually being in touch with me, with not only my body and my feelings, but also my fears, my doubts, my anger. And it was all the things that I used to repress. Because I didn't like upsetting people, and so that's the way that I dealt with it. And that's strange. I can remember one meditation where I was opening up my heart in a loving kindness meditation, and I thought my heart was going to break. It was such a strong feeling, but I felt like my heart couldn't cope with it, like I was going to have a heart attack. And so I kind of think of that as like all the layers that I kind of encased my heart with, not to be hurt. But one of the things with loving kindness is about working with myself and working with how I feel about others. I've talked a bit about I have quite a monkey mind at times, so for weeks I could be very settled and then I'm all over the place. I'm not settled, and so I know that on the cushion, this is one of the things about what meditation means to me, is it's never going to be the same all the time. I have to kind of adapt it and change it, and you know, otherwise I get to the point where there is kind of nothing, and I've worked with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. But I think the nicest thing was really about my observations of how I am with other people. I think that's been probably one of the nicest things. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about off the cushion. So, I think I always thought that I'm a fixed person. I am me, I have a fixed self, that when I suffer there is nothing that can be done about it, and I'm the only person that suffers, you know, but I'm not the only person that suffers. I'd say now, because of the meditation and the people around me, I feel much more happy and contented and less consumed. And it's not saying that I don't ever feel unhappy, because there are moments when you do feel unhappy. But there is, I have this almost like, I think I described it as, I don't know, there just feels like a richness. I think I'll come back to that, about how I feel. And one of the things, the biggest things I realise is about how, before I was meditating, how my mind is influenced, you know, how it's conditioned. And I kind of go around the same cycle of suffering. So this feeling of richer relationships, or just feeling a bit more contented, it feels like I've got a whole picture. I have a whole picture of people, and I don't just think about, well, okay, this person's irritating me, or I don't like this person. I try to think about the whole person, and I think that's led me to certainly, I'd say, kind of integrate my relationships with people more. And I think one of the other things that I've done is I've kind of take responsibility for my suffering. There's no point blaming somebody else, you know, that person did this or whatever. I prefer now to kind of look into myself and actually what I can do. And I've tried to be a little bit more honest with other people, and that's been difficult. So rather than saying I'm okay, I can have a conversation about how I'm feeling or how I want things to be. So that's really, really nice. I think really kind of wrapping up what meditation has kind of meant to me is that I feel almost like my authentic self. I know I'm not authentic in some ways, but it feels like I'm working towards it, and I feel like a different person. I feel even each day that I wake up, I am a different person, and I can forgive myself for things that I do wrong, but not feel like I need to punish myself. It's I feel, hey, it's okay. So it's okay to have some compassion with myself. So I think I'd summarise it by saying that really I'm working towards what I can be for myself and for others, and not what I have been.
Thanks so much, Pam. That's great. I really enjoyed how you wove in what meditation is and how that's affecting you, what is on the cushion and off the cushion, and how related they are. Thanks very much. You're good. Good. All right. We're going to just carry on basically where we left off last week. If you haven't seen the last two live streams, that's fine. This will stand alone, but it is building on as well some of the themes that were picked up in those last 2 weeks. So really, what we've been doing in the last 2 weeks, I would say, is we've been looking into what is awareness and how to deepen awareness. And I thought Pam really drew out this really well. The first goal, in a way, if you think of maybe goal, just use that very loosely, in meditation, is this sense of unification, of wholeness, a kind of new way of experiencing ourselves that's not so all over the place. So a more unified sense that you are the same person when you're at work or at home or whatever, you know, that you talked about as this kind of more authentic sense that's kind of emerging. And one can feel that sense emerging in meditation, this sense of kind of yourself, in a sense, there's something authentic emerging. And that's kind of felt through the body, it's felt through sensations, felt through the feelings. It's even transmitted through the kind of thoughts and how they kind of weave around all of that as well. By thoughts, I'm including kind of memories, planning, fantasy, a narrative about what's happening. It seems more integrated. Yeah? So we're looking for this sense of unification, of integrity. We can't force that to happen. I've been really trying to be clear about that. You can't force that to happen. If you try and force that to happen, you'll just kind of develop a strained kind of mind, strained kind of body. You feel it in meditation when you're pushing too hard, don't you? You kind of feel the strain of that. But we can't also just hope it's going to happen either. Because if we just hope it's going to happen, we'll just be doing what we always do. We'll be going through what Pam was describing as just the habitual ways that we are. So I was trying to address this in the last couple of weeks, and we looked at in the first week about awareness being this kind of sense of kind of noticing what's going on. But I've also been saying that if that gets too one-sided, too lopsided, it can be a bit cold and a bit analytical. So I've also been talking about it as kind of open-heartedness to how you are, how it's going just now. So we've been talking about how to kind of use some sort of sense of guidance in meditation, but also kind of this open-heartedness. And in the second week, what we did was we looked at how to move between focus and in this case focus of the breath, using the breath as our kind of focus, getting kind of close up to that, and then just kind of open up to more the fullness of our experience, yeah? To try to circumnavigate this kind of sense of strain, or just kind of relax and just let everything happen. Yeah? So how do we navigate that? Yeah, so we've been moving between guided, engaged attendance on the breath and this more open, explorative, kind of creative kind of attitude, which is in a way stopping us kind of being fixated on some sort of technique. Yeah, so we don't want to get fixated. And what happens when we get fixated, or we just get lost in rumination, is we get tense. It's really interesting. If you just notice how when you've gone off on meditation, gone off on a chain of thought, if you then notice how you are in your body, you would have got tense. Because those chains of thought are often navigating ourselves and what we want and what we don't want. Yeah, and that's kind of creates a kind of tension in our experience. Yeah? But if we attend too strongly in too prescribed a way, we get tense as well. If we try and get too rigidly attendant on the breath, we feel tight as well. So this sense of tightness is the main problem in a way, the main reason why people either give up meditation and say, oh look, it's not helping me, I'm just kind of finding it uncomfortable, or they just kind of go, oh, I'm just going to do just sitting. I'm just going to do just sitting because I don't, all this guided aspect is stressing me out. And then they just kind of just sit, and then they don't often get anywhere anyway. Because just sitting is actually quite an important practice, but usually is intended on quite a settled meditation practice in a certain way, some way. So yeah, we can go either way. We can just let go of technique altogether. Or we can go with the technique, find it really uncomfortable because we've been too rigid and feel strained. Yeah? So often the reason we feel strained and contracted and kind of defended is, as I say, this kind of self-preoccupation. And it's usually we're defended against the rest of the world, aren't we? Which usually means other people, basically. It usually means other people. So we notice that in moments of stress, it's usually moments of stress usually involve other people. Not always, but they do usually involve other people. And what happens then is we just notice our system has kind of geared up, don't we? It's on, we're switched on. Yeah, we've kind of like switched on, and we're feeling tense. Yeah. So it does feel like this area of other people is really, really important. And this is where metta practice comes in. Metta practice is this empathic awareness of other people. It's whatever we feel when we're connected with other people, when we're kind of attuned to other people, when we're kind of stepping slightly outside of our own kind of self preoccupation, just to kind of move towards people. Yeah. It's usually to do with other people. We can be in a state of metta for ourselves. That's absolutely true as well. But it's a bit, as Pam was saying, we're kind of, when we're in a state of metta, just in ourselves, we're just kind of attuned to life, just how life is just now. Life might be difficult, might be exhilarating, might be boring. It might be very boring. Actually, boredom is a big thing in our experience. I think it's not talked about enough. So there's boredom. There's all sorts of things that are going on, and metta is kind of being in relation to that. Yeah, so not pushing that away. And when it's in relation to other people, it's not pushing them away. Yeah? So it's connected with life, life as it is in ourselves or other people. And we've been looking at these three categories, haven't we? We've been looking at body, especially in the second half, so we went into these more depth, but body, sensations, raw data of sensations. We all have that now. If we feel a body, we feel some raw kind of data of that. And then there's the feeling tone, that's always present. Something, this feeling's pleasant or unpleasant or kind of, you know, a bit grey, a bit neutral in the middle. And then there's thought. So we've been looking at these areas, these 3 areas, as things that we can be mindful of. Yeah? Mindfulness is not just a kind of abstract thing, we're mindful of. And often they're not entirely distinct, are they? They're kind of sensation, thought, feeling. There's a kind of, but there's a sense that we're aware of something. Yeah? It's not kind of abstract quality. And so the 4th category that Sangha actually brought into this was other people. Whereas they just take up so much of our bandwidth, other people. So there's this whole practice dedicated to it, metta practice. And so what's happening, all that's changing in a way from what we've been doing in the last 2 weeks is rather than taking the breath as the object of the meditation, we're just taking metta as the object of the meditation. Yeah? We don't have to think of it as this completely different thing we're doing. We're just bringing where the breath was like in the foreground, now we're bringing metta to the foreground. Yeah? So metta, loving kindness, very big idea, but it's already in our experience. Yeah, it's whatever happens when someone brings us a cup of tea, opens a door, smiles. Even with the mask on, you can often see people smiling, can't you? Pam just smiled, didn't you? Then I know she's got a mask on, but I can see you smiling. It's whatever happens when you feel that connection. And what happens, and we'll go a bit more into this in a second, but what does happen? We've got kind of there's a slight melting, isn't there? There's a slight relaxation, there's a slight letting go of our guard, there's a slight ease that enters in, in connection with this awareness of the life in someone else. Yeah? So just as with awareness practice, the main problem with metta is trying too hard, exactly the same, forcing it, trying to force an experience of metta, trying to force, as I say, a Hollywood experience of metta with the trumpets and the cupids and the beautiful sunset. It's trying to force all that, and then we tighten up. We tighten up and we say we can't do it. A lot of people say to me, can't really do metta practice, they don't really get it. Often it's just because they're too rigidly applying this technique of metta to their experience without this open-heartedness. Yeah? So there's this kind of sense of kind of like, oh, I'm going to feel metta without the attending to the fuller aspects of our experience, whatever is going on, whether it be comfort, uncomfort, stress, strain, whatever's happening. So a wider attendance to what's going on. So yeah, I'm going to be guiding us through that now in a very, very simple way. Yeah, very, very simple way. What we're going to be doing is, in this guided meditation, we're just going to be bringing to mind a recent memory of connection, of opening, of tuning into another person. Yeah? It could be just quite small in the scale of things, yeah, quite small, but just a moment of connection that's happened to us recently. And we'll be using that same approach of just bringing focus to that, trying to feel the texture of that, feel our way into that, dwell in that, be with that, and then breath. Just kind of opening out, seeing what effect that has on our broader awareness, which includes the body, includes feeling, includes thought. And we'll be doing that we'll be especially looking at how it affects this tightness in our experience, yeah, just as a way of as a kind of barometer, how it affects the tight. It's very interesting, you can get tight in your body, and we'll kind of know that, right? We get tight in our feelings, we get kind of caught up, don't we? You can also get tight in your thought, strangely tight in your thought. You know when you get that, you kind of get locked in, and it's like the activity of thought feels tight, feels strained. Yeah? So we're just going to be using tightness as a kind of barometer to see how bringing in this reflection is affecting our experience. Yeah? So that's what we'll do. And it may be that I might bring in a recollection of another person as well. We'll see how we go for time, but we may bring that in. But certainly we're going to bring in a memory of connection. Okay, so let's just set ourselves up. No rush to get yourself set up. Don't feel like suddenly I'm doing something called meditation. Just moving into it in a way without gearing up, without gearing ourselves up. Just make sure you've got everything you need. Make sure you've got all the support you need for the cushions. Okay. So now we're just going to close our eyes. And just see how we feel right now. Need to think about it, we're just feeling directly into the body. Just notice where we are in this spectrum of tightness to ease. How's the body feeling? How are we feeling? And just noticing the support from the ground, from the chair or the cushion. Just feeling the weight dropping into the ground. Just allowing your weight to drop into the ground. Just starting to soften in the body. Noticing the area of the jaw. Forehead and eyes. Noticing your shoulders. Being willing to feel your shoulders. Can't force your shoulders to relax. Start to imagine the shoulders softening. Becoming aware of the belly. Just allow the belly to soften. Feeling your thighs. Notice if you're gripping in your thighs. Just allowing the whole system to calm down, settle down. Now tuning into our hearts, the physical heart, with the heart center, the area of the chest, heart. Sensations present. I feel like nothing. And just feel what that feels like. Feel tension. Just allowing that to be there, willing to feel that. Or maybe ease. Just feeling this kind of inner atmosphere of the heart center. And willing to feel it. You're still just staying with the body. Bring to mind a situation that's moved you, a moment of connection, a moment of attunement, of a person, a moment of generosity. Choose whatever is presented to you in your mind. Just allow yourself to dwell with that. And opening up to the broader effect that has on your body, any feelings of tightness or ease. Feeling your thoughts as activity rather than content, just whether there's a sense of tension there or ease. And if you want to just return into this moment of connection, if you can stay with it, dwell with it. And just opening up to how that's affected your wider experience, broadening out. And just see if you can bring to mind a good friend. Just somebody you've got a simple, loving connection with, who's alive at the moment. Same easeful way, bringing that friend to mind. Allow yourself to really be with them. And still allow for the breath, opening up to the broader sense of your body, tightness, ease, experience. And just by moving between focus and breath. And just coming back to the weight of your body, support by the ground. space around you, and a connection with one another, meditating together as a community. Okay, good. Actually, who is that there? Who have you got? Nice to actually hear people's names actually there.
Well, we've got a lot of people actually. So we've got Greta tuning in from Devon, and Tom in Herne Hill, Ben in Peckham, Nick says hello, Steph's dialing in from Crystal Palace, and Alison's in Plumstead, Kat's in Norbury, Sarah's from Berlin.
Wow,
Tuning in from
good
there.
Marvin.
Joe's tuned in and said, lovely to see you up there, Pam.
Yeah.
And Sarah said that she really resonated with your talk and what you were saying, and Steph said, great to hear your experiences. So lots of love for your talk. And then also Farah's joined us from Upper Norwood, and Amber's tuning in from Seattle in Washington. Amber wins the prize for first away.
Prize for first away.
And then we've got Rachel in Stockwell and Sergio in Peckham. So lots of people.
Yeah. That's nice. Just after doing the metta, it's really nice just to hear everybody's names and imagine out there. So, yeah, no, that's great. And well, we know you are now, so you definitely have to come to the second half. That's okay. I just want to say something about a course that's coming up. It's just short advert for this course that's actually starting tomorrow. I think it's going to be really exciting. That's all I want to tell you about it. It's called The Evolving Mind, and it's Viri Naga's going to be leading the course starting tomorrow, and it's going to be six Tuesday evenings in a row. And it's really where science meets the Dharma. So what it's going to be testing in current science is the hypothesis that human evolution has got us up as a species to this point of self-reflective consciousness, and that now evolution is an individual matter, evolution of one's own kind of mind, so to speak. So they'll be looking at the kind of science between what consciousness kind of is, and really how meditation, dharmic practice, and so on affects consciousness. But also, yeah, what is consciousness and how does it evolve? So I've been hearing a bit about. I live with Virunaga amongst others, and I've been hearing about how he's going to be drawing on all the newest science behind that. He's a neuroscientist by training, so that'd be a real treat. Quite a new, innovative course. So yeah, I think we've got the link up, so you can just click on that. That's by donation, so you can pay as little or as much as you want for the course. And then in this second half, well, I'm really going to encourage you to join us for the second half. Second half's going to be a really good opportunity for us to hear how it's going on the challenge. But what I want to really talk about is how do we, as a part of metta practice, how do we evoke a connection with others? It's not just about getting a photo up in our mind, is it? So how do we evoke connection with others, and what happens when we do that? Yeah, so what happens when we do that? So we'll be looking into that in the second half. Yeah, so just click on the link. It will take me a couple of moments to transition across into Zoom world, but yeah, do join me there in a couple of moments. Yeah, so but from the first off, thanks again very much, Pam, for your talk, and yeah, so good, and thanks for your work on the tech, Emma, and yeah, see you in the second half in a couple of moments.